I drive down to South Carolina, University of South Carolina, the Gamecocks, the number 4 team in the nation. I put on a suit, you know what I mean? Trip Willie style, lemon pepper steppers. I go straight to the facility. I go straight to the elevator. I go right to the top. Steve Spurrier is the head ball coach. He's a legend, but he has a son named Steve Spurrier Jr. I walk straight up to the office. He says, "What are you doing here?" I said, "My name is Matrick Belton, and I'm here to play football." He said, "You here to play football?" He said, "Do you attend the school?" "No, sir. I'm still at Hampton University, but you know what I mean? I'll be here in the spring." He said, "Well, you can't play football here if you don't attend the school." But if you
Oh, what's your story? Don't you dare be sour. Clap for Stephanie and feel the power.
Welcome to What's Your Story with Steph McMahon, a WWE and Fanatics original production. Well, thank you so much, Trick, for being a part of this show. I've been so excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, it's just incredible, your rise, and you are on a rocket. Do you feel it?
Man, I'm enjoying every single day.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning next to my fiance.
Yes, Miss
Lash
Legend, yes.
And we both just so grateful, as far as the first 3 months, 4 months on SmackDown. I couldn't picture it going much better than what it's going right now. So, yeah, so grateful.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's the best possible perspective you can have.
For sure.
Where do you think that comes from, that gratitude and that appreciation? Because I don't think everybody feels the same.
For sure. I think not having it, not knowing what was next, not having the money to wake up and go get food and, have to look at my account like, maybe I get lunch, maybe I get dinner, hungry.
And at what time in your life is this?
This is after college.
Okay. So you're on your own?
This is on my own.
Yeah.
My parents, great parents, of course, they would have done anything to make sure I was good, but this is me as a man having to figure out what was next in my life. Moving out to California, training at Knox Pro with Rikishi and DoorDash and, teaching online. I'm on the West Coast teaching online on the East Coast in South Carolina.
Right, because you're also a teacher.
I was also, doing the teaching thing. So waking up 4 o'clock in the morning, on the West Coast. So they're at 7 o'clock on the East Coast and DoorDashing throughout the day and then training at night and doing the same thing in Philadelphia. And, I think going through that time period of my life, I just had to love the craft and love what I was doing. Taking a chance with pro wrestling, not knowing if I was going to make it or not. But I truly enjoyed it. So now that I get paid for it, what you
and
mean?
You continue to get paid even more for it as you move forward.
The people love me too. Man, I cracked the cheat code of life. There's nothing really that I could complain about. You know what I mean? I get to do what I love every single week. So.
And going back to your folks' house, that wasn't a thought for you.
Not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that they offer you can come back and we can figure it out. But for the opportunities that I wanted, going to a good wrestling school, working with Rikishi, I went to CZW in Philly. I had to get some exposure. I had to get out there and take a chance on myself. I didn't want to be comfortable. I wanted to throw myself in the deep end and reach my potential. And here we are 5-6 years later. So it was worth it.
I think that's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, really, truly. Not everybody who has the option takes the harder path, right? But it's often the harder path that forges who we are, right? And where did you wind up in a place of gratitude when you're having so much success with the woman you love?
That's right.
I heard you refer to the PC as Love Island, which I thought was really
it
funny.
Is Love Island. The first thing I said is, come on, I ain't going to go date no wrestler. You know what I mean? I don't want no linebacker. You know what I mean? Here I am with a wrestler. You know what I mean?
That's so funny. I know. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh my God, that's funny.
It's perfect.
I truly believe sleep is the foundation for everything. Your mood, your stamina, your brain power. And after a long day, I need a bed that actually helps me recharge. Brooklyn Bedding understands this. My mattress is not just comfortable, it's intentionally built for restorative sleep.
Brooklyn Bedding knows sleep isn't one size fits all. That's why they offer mattresses for everybody, every sleep style, even in hard to find sizes. Brooklyn Bedding also offers a 120-night comfort trial. Love it? Or they'll help you return it or swap it hassle-free.
Go to brooklynbedding.com and use my promo code STEPH at checkout to get 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. That's brooklynbedding.com and promo code STEPH for 30% off site-wide. Support our show and let them know we sent you after checkout. brooklynbedding.com, promo code STEPH. But yeah, I think that's remarkable, you know, that's the place that you've come to.
Yeah.
And are you a person of faith as well?
Yeah, 100%. Even, you know, the idea of joining, you know, the journey of becoming a WWE superstar, you know, a piece of me at the time felt like it was self-seeking. I played football for 20 years. I went to Hampton University, walked on to the University of South Carolina, you know, worked my way up to becoming a starter.
Which is amazing in and of
that's
itself.
You know, that's a
impressive.
whole
And,
nother.
and that's speaking to your character too,
For sure.
and choosing the harder path.
For sure, for
right?
sure.
Because that was definitely not an easy decision at the time.
It was
I'm
not.
sure.
Yeah. Speaking of faith, you know, I think that's when I first learned how to take a leap of faith and jumping, you know, into something that was bigger than me. At Hampton, I loved the school. You know, it was a great time, but the athletics there wasn't what I needed. Like I felt to get to the next level, which was the NFL. So I had to.
Because that was always the goal.
That was always the goal.
Yeah.
That was always the goal. Like if you play football, you know, you want to make it to the NFL.
Right.
If you wrestle, you want to go to WWE. You know, that's where you go. And you know, at the time, Hampton wasn't providing those opportunities. So South Carolina was the hometown team for me. It was the number 4 team in the nation.
And that's where your dad went, right?
Well, my dad played at South Carolina State.
Okay,
It's
okay.
next door in Orangeburg. But you know, everybody aspires to be a Gamecock if you're from the area. And I remember thinking, like, man, they're the number 4 team in the nation. Like, the top dogs is playing there. They didn't recruit me heavily out of high school. They brought me in for some camps, and they saw potential in me, but you know, ultimately they passed up. So I had an opportunity to, I guess, walk on. Not even an opportunity. I went and found an opportunity to walk on.
Right? So describe that.
So this is,
Right? I'm sure there's a lot of kids
there's a lot of kids.
in a similar spot right now, right?
A lot of kids want to play for the number 4 team in the nation. I remember, I'm not proud of this, but I quit the team at Hampton. I had a lot going on. No excuses. My grandfather passed. You know, things wasn't right with the coaches and everything. It was the first time I quit anything, but I knew where I wanted to be, and I had clarity for the first time. I said, I'm going to play for the University of South Carolina.
And how did you get that clarity?
Man, I had to pray about it.
Yeah.
I had to pray about it.
And what were you asking? Like what my path is, or, you know, what? And you don't have to share. If
No,
it's
no, this is
personal,
perfect.
but-
This
okay,
is
okay.
exactly what it was. So it happened like this. And, you know, that's why my brother says I have delusional faith, because it is that I am very delusional in a way, but that's what it takes sometimes. I remember it was the end of my freshman
It's
season.
not delusional if you're believing in yourself.
That's right. That's right.
And it's working. So.
Yeah, clearly.
But I remember after my freshman season at Hampton, it was a good season, not a great season. And I remember my strength coach coming down. He was just driving past the dorms. And I was out there. It's the last day I'm finna drive back to South Carolina. He says, Matrick, you know, let me holler at you for a second. I said, okay. So I walked to his car. He says, you're better than Hampton University. He said, you're better than this place. I see you. I see your growth. I see your potential. You know what I mean? I suggest you transfer to your home state of South Carolina or Clemson, and you take your chances. I'm like, that's a weird thing for a coach
Right?
to tell me. His name is Big John, you know. He just hit me up a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Big John. So I remember going home, and I was telling my people, like, you know, Big John told me that I should transfer to the University of South Carolina or Clemson. And my parents like, finally. I was thinking the same thing. Let's get this thing going right now. Let's get you, you know, let's started applying all this. I was like, whoa, hold on now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Hampton Pirate. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
I got a girlfriend.
It's moving all
you know what I mean?
fast, yeah.
I got friends. You know what I mean? Like,
I got a life here.
I got a life here. I
Yeah.
ain't trying to uproot and just move like that. And then they was like, this is what you need to do. Like, I'm telling you, like Hampton, your potential is not going to be met here. And I love Hampton. I love my HBCUs, but I'm just talking about the sports program.
Sure.
Right.
At the
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
And so I remember, I prayed on it, and I went to my room and I opened the Bible, and I opened up to a story of what I believe to be Jonah. I just randomly opened it up, and the scripture was saying, we're going to take you from this land, to this next land. And he was fighting to get back to the land that he was from. And as I'm reading it, my eyes is like,
It just spoke to you.
it spoke to me.
Yeah.
I said, man, shoot, why did I read that? Now I got to move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Darn you, Bible.
Yeah, right. Like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? And then, so, like, I call my coaches at Hampton. I say, yo, I'm not coming back. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your full scholarship. I know you got big plans for me coming up on my sophomore season, but I'm going to walk on at the University of South Carolina. Very bold.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I say 1 month of superior faith. I'm feeling myself.
Right.
Like I'm going to the University of South Carolina.
Right. And that you're going to actually get on.
I'm gonna
And then I'm
walk
going
on.
to get on.
Yeah.
And then I got scared. And then I was like, what am I doing?
Well,
know what I
and
mean?
were people, but you said your parents were supportive.
My parents were supportive.
And what about other people around you?
Oh, the girl I was with at the time, like,
Well, she wanted you to stay.
she wants you to stay.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can't, if you go we can't be together.
You're like,
See ya.
You know what I mean? My quarterback. Right. My boy played quarterback, and he was like, bro, it's supposed to be you and me. Like, we took our official visit together and everything like
yeah.
that. I'm like,
that's
man,
tough. Yeah.
like, I do got a good thing going. Like, I'm quote unquote appreciated.
right.
But
right.
you know what I mean?
kinda
But it's
comfortable.
not.
Recognize.
I was
right?
comfortable.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. I was
point.
comfortable. And then, so long story short, I decided to go back to Hampton.
Oh.
Right.
How long?
This is during the summer. So within
Okay, so you told everybody at the end of the.
probably we talking about June.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm not, I'm gonna transfer to South Carolina. The offensive coordinator, he's calling me like, what are we doing? We got a whole playbook just for you. We're gonna do this, blase this, blase that. And then, I'm like, I don't gotta leave. July, I'm coming back. When I get to Hampton in July, I tweak my hamstring.
No.
Me and the girl break up anyways. Like everything, all hell was breaking
All the
loose.
signs are like,
All the
what
signs
are
was
you
right
doing?
there.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang,
back in
what
the
am I
car.
thinking about? You know what I mean? And I knew.
Right.
I went from starting my freshman season to like second, third string. As I come back, coming off an injury and everything like that.
Right.
And then I'm like, bro, I knew where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And then we end up playing against South Carolina State. My dad's alma mater.
Right. Okay.
Which is the crib for me, you know what I mean? So I
Right,
got
yeah.
20 tickets, 30 tickets. Everybody's coming to see me. I work my way back up the depth chart, you know what I mean? Like, all right, cool, South Carolina State. Something happens, I'm not gonna make an excuse, but I was late to the meeting. I'm suspended the first half of the game at my hometown at South Carolina State. I'm not playing. I'm like, man, this can't be life, man. I don't know what's going on. After the game, my mom tells me that her dad passed away, my grandfather. And he never got to see me play college ball. I remember, like, it just hit a point for me. I was like, man, I ain't supposed to be here. And that's when I quit at Hampton University.
Wow.
I never quit.
Officially.
That's when I officially quit. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. Before I get hurt again or pull another hamstring or do something
Right,
crazy,
yeah.
I said, I'm supposed to be at the University of South Carolina. So that's what I'm going to do. So then I go to the office. I tell the coaches, sorry, y'all, I wasn't supposed to be here this year. I was supposed to be doing my thing at South Carolina. They said, man, if you ain't playing here at Hampton, how you going to play at the University of South Carolina? If you can't do it here, you're wasting your time, son. Like,
Right.
if you can't do it here, and all these coaches, the same ones that offered me scholarships and everything like that, turned on me just like that. That was just begging me to stay at Hampton, everything
Right.
like that. I said, okay.
That's interesting.
Now I got a chip on my
Now
shoulder.
but now you know even more it's the right decision.
Now I
Yeah.
know it's
Right?
right. Now I can't turn back.
Right.
Well, yeah.
I gotta make it happen. So I remember I drive down to South Carolina, University of South Carolina, the Gamecocks, the number 4 team in the nation. I put on a suit, You know what I mean?
Yes.
Trip Willie style, lemon pepper steppers. I go straight to the facility. Straight to the facility. I remember I didn't look left, I didn't look right. They got a fence there now. It wasn't there back in the day. So I walk straight in the building. I see the, people working the front desk. I go straight to the elevator. I go right to the top. I'm gonna get on this football team. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, all right.
And it's Spurrier Jr. Steve Spurrier is the head ball coach. He's a legend. But he has a son named Steve Spurrier Jr. I walk straight up to the office. He says, "What are you doing here?" I said, "My name is Matrick Belton, and I'm here to play football." He said, "You here to play football?" He said, "Do you attend the school?" "No, sir. I'm still at Hampton University, but you know what I mean? I'll be here in the spring." He said, "Well, you can't play football here if you don't attend the school. But if you come here in spring, you're a good-sized kid, we'll give you an opportunity." I said,
That's great.
And that's what happened. So I'm training, put on 20 pounds of muscle. I got a point to prove. Hampton done told me this and told me that. I want to play at the University of South Carolina.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
Right.
going to do. We go to the spring trials. Jamie Spronis, the AD or whatever, the guy who's working the football operations, he says, "This is the University of South Carolina. We're the number 4 team in the nation. The truth is, we don't need any of you walk-ons. So the only way you can help us out is if you have a high GPA." I said,
Damn.
this is rough. You know
Well,
what I
because
mean?
then it's the average of all the players.
Yeah,
It's the
you know,
average. It
right.
helps
Bring
the
up the
average of the
GPA.
school and everything like that. He said, "If you don't run a 4.340, you can't play wide receiver. If you're not 300 pounds, you can't play offensive line." I'm like, dang, well, they stiff up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We go to the trial. There's 200 people there that want a spot on this team. They cut it down from 200 to 20. The first cut, just like
And
that.
you make it.
I make it to the 20. They cut it down from 20 to 8, just like that. 8 of us make the team at the University of South Carolina. We go into spring camp. I was the outstanding offensive walk-on of the 8 at the University of South Carolina.
So awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, I made the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can go all day about this story.
This
It's
is
the
so
truth.
great. I love
Yeah.
it. Keep going.
Okay, so now,
Are you kidding? This is awesome.
And
Yeah.
like people don't just do this.
No.
no.
But you did.
No,
But you
not at
did.
all. No, people like
Why? Because out of fear. But keep going.
out
keep
of fear.
going.
You know what I mean? In South Carolina, there's no professional football team. You either a Gamecock or you're a Clemson Tiger, and we don't wear purple. We don't wear orange around here. We keep it garnet.
Right.
But so yeah, it's my sophomore season, redshirt sophomore season. I'm redshirted at the University of South Carolina, and man, I just remember Spurrier. He gave me an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a good guy, and his wife, Jerry, they just gave me an opportunity to show what I can do. They treated my mom well, and I really
Yeah.
appreciated that. Here comes my junior season.
Uh-oh.
Junior season, I'm finally eligible to play. With my boys, you know what I mean? We working out, we training. I worked my way up to being a starter my junior season.
That's
Things are-
amazing.
Things are going good, you know what I mean? Like, we're really moving in the right direction. Halfway through the season, Steve Spurrier quits.
Oh.
He quits. I know. I know.
hanging
The
on every
storytelling
word
is
here.
crazy, but this is the truth. Steve Spurrier quits. We played against Tennessee, and I remember it was a tough game. It was at Rocky Top. And, my boy Jarrell Adams, he fumbled the ball late in the 4th, and Tennessee scooped, and we lost the game. Then we have a practice, a couple days later, and Steve Spurrier, he told us, he said, maybe it's time that I take a step back and let somebody else call the plays around here. We said, okay, somebody else is calling the plays. That's no problem. We get back to the locker room, and Steve Spurrier's breaking news. He resigns as head coach at the University of South Carolina. But that's not what he told us, on the
Right,
practice field.
right.
He just said he's going to take a step back. Oh, shoot. Now we have an interim head coach. Everything changes within the program.
Oh, boy.
You know what I mean? So
They didn't stick to the playbook
it didn't stick
and
to
just
the
pick
playbook.
it up halfway through. And
Nah, because
damn, they had to change everything on everybody.
that's what we do in our business. Sometimes,
Well, I guess,
sometimes
right?
things just change on the fly.
I don't know, but when you have seasons and a team of
Mm-hmm.
people who, like, you're a teacher, you're a leader when there's a playbook and it's working, right? Save for that game.
Right.
I understand wanting to make your mark, but like,
Yeah.
you got to be there for the players.
I broke.
Yeah,
too.
and
Yeah.
I don't know the full story of why Steve Spurrier
And why he
resigns.
left in the middle
You know,
of the season.
it could have been
Yeah.
could have been health related. I don't know.
Who knows?
We never got that story.
Yeah.
All we know is like, man, my coach is gone.
Yeah, and apparently that does happen a lot.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
It happens a
My,
lot.
my daughter came to play softball, and the coach that recruited her as soon like the day of orientation, that coach left.
Just like that.
And she was like,
You committed 4 years, maybe
yeah,
5 years, your
with that
education, the whole
coach.
future with that coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I decided to walk on and transfer, you know, with that coach who was number 4.
You're
in the
finally
nation.
starting.
Finally starting. Things
you
are
find
moving
You
good.
find the situation out.
Yes.
You lose the game,
We lose the game and the coach is gone.
and the coach is gone. And here comes.
We have an interim coach named Sean Elliott. I think he's actually still at South Carolina. He left and came back. But he picks up. The team doesn't pick up. We might have
Yeah,
we might have
because
won
you're
one more
all
game the rest of the
confused.
season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Senior
I'm
year,
sure it was.
it was rough.
Yeah,
it was
it's
rough.
tough.
But long story short, I think, you know, through everything that happened at Hampton, at the University of South Carolina, you know, I had so many wins in the midst of even the team not being the best that it could have
Tell
been.
me, tell me.
Man, I tell you a big win. Steve Spurrier, the most winningest ball coach in South Carolina history. He has a banner on Williams-Brice Stadium. Trick Williams, but we could talk about that. It's probably 80 to 100 feet up, and it's just him, you know, his hand on his, you know, and his visor on. When he leaves the team, they say, we're gonna take down the banner. Now we gotta put up a new picture. But the truth is, Trick Williams was in the weight room at all times.
Of course he was.
I was on the field. I had something to prove. Those coaches at Hampton told me that I wasn't going to play at the University
That's
of
right.
South Carolina.
That's right.
I got to prove them wrong. And that chip still sits on me to this day. And I was always in the weight room. I was always working out. I remember a kid was supposed to take a photo shoot for all the cups and all the tickets at the University of South Carolina. He couldn't make it. But they said, since TJ can't show up, Trick Williams, can we take pictures of you? You bet you can.
Yes, you
think I
can.
worked this hard for nothing? You know what I mean? Let's take these
Popped
pictures.
off the shirt.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Yeah, you
take off
want-
my shirt. I haven't worn a shirt since. You know what I mean?
Today, this
I'm
is
wearing a
shocking.
shirt today out of respect for Triple H. You know what I mean? I didn't want him to hit my paycheck. I knew I was gonna be in front of you, Stephanie, so I'm wearing a
Our
shirt today.
disappointment.
But that's
And
the only
watched
reason I got on a shirt today.
I watched you do an interview somewhere in New York, and you had your fluffy jacket on, and then you take that jacket off, and then
I got another jacket on.
I didn't expect you to.
But
you
no
took off
shirt.
one jacket, and you have another jacket.
That's right, that's right.
But you were cold that day,
I was
so
cold
you
that
were
day.
also wearing.
I only have 3 shirts. You know what I mean? So I got to choose wisely when I wear them. But
Okay.
yeah. But okay, we're taking pictures
Yes,
at the University
yes.
of South Carolina. They put me on all the cups, all the tickets. I was like, okay, this is really cool. But when Spurrier quits, they say, who are we gonna replace that big 100-foot banner on Williams-Brice Stadium with? Who has the best pictures in the system? Who looks good with the shirt off?
Right?
Trick
Check,
Williams
check,
goes
check,
on top of the
check.
Williams-Brice Stadium.
No way.
100 feet in the air. I lie to you not. And that, to me, it's a little win, but it's a big win.
I mean, that's a huge.
Huge.
You know,
huge
'cause
win.
if I wouldn't have left Hampton University and taken that chance to be there, then that was just a 100-foot reminder of if you be obedient and you listen to what I got for you, you never know where that's going to take you. And it's things like that, I lie you not, Stephanie, there's full circle moments my whole life
Yeah.
that just reminds me like, okay, you're on the right path.
What's another one?
Here's another one. Okay. So this one's pretty funny.
Okay.
This one's pretty funny. I told this on the pivot.
Okay.
So long story short, I'm gonna skip past my senior season with Will Muschamp, you know, spending the whole year, you know, substitute teaching and coaching the kids with my cleats on.
Yeah, and how did you become a teacher?
So I was a physical education major.
Okay.
So going into my senior year, we had to do internships, you know, of PE
Yeah.
out inside the schools. When Muschamp came in, you know, we was practicing in the morning, but I couldn't change my internship, so I wasn't even going to practice my senior year.
Oh boy, yeah.
So I'm not playing on Saturdays at this point. All right, so now I got to tell this story. 'cause
Okay,
we're here.
okay.
So my internship is at Airport High School. It's in Columbia, South Carolina. It's the Airport Eagles. And, you know, long story short, I'm there instead of football practice for the University of South Carolina. The Airport Eagles have a player who used to play there who's a legend. His name is Deuce Staley. Deuce Staley played at Airport High School. He played at the University of South Carolina. And he also played for the Philadelphia Eagles. Stay with me. So the only reason I really know who he is, I mean, I knew who he was with a helmet on, but like I really know him because his pictures all around Airport High School. So as nothing happens my senior year, I do my pro day, nothing happens. Okay, shoot. Coach Burnett at Airport, he says, Trick Williams, can you please stay here and coach? The kids love you here. Okay, I can coach the kids. I'm coaching with my cleats on. Then I have a dream. I'm going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's got to happen. I had a dream. It was vivid. It was clear as day.
Oh, literally, you had a dream.
I had a dream.
Okay.
And I tell my mom, I said, I'm going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know how. Here's the dream, Stephanie.
Okay.
I walk in the building. It's a bunch of doors. It's a bunch of doors. It's a bunch of doors. I knock on one door. It's the New England Patriots.
Hell yeah.
This is your dream.
This is my dream.
Okay.
And they say, sorry, we don't have space for you. I say, okay. Knock on the next door. It's the Green Bay Packers. Here to play football. Sorry, we don't have space for you. I knock on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm here to play football. He said, you serious? I said, I'm dead serious. He said, come in, let's see what we can do. Just like that.
Wow.
I had this dream. I go and tell my mom, I'm going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know how this is going to happen. But now the reality is I do my pro day, nothing happens. I'm coaching at Airport Eagles. You know what I mean? So I'm like, maybe I misinterpreted this dream. Maybe it's the Airport
are the
Eagles that I'm going to play
literal.
for. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm going back to high school. But I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? But I'm still training. I'm still grinding. I'm still working. I'm still
because
working.
when the opportunity comes, you want to be ready.
I'm going to be ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to be ready. Here I go. I'm going to train with one of my boys from college. He doesn't show up. Alshon Jeffrey shows up. I know it's a lot of football guys, but Alshon is from South Carolina. He's from the same place that I'm from.
Okay.
I see Alshon. I know exactly who he is. He just signed a $55 million deal to the Philadelphia Eagles. He played high school with my cousin, DJ. So, like,
so many
I'm like,
points. Yeah.
I said, oh, this is how it's happening. I'm going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I said, yo, Alshon, what's going on? I'm Trick Williams. I would love to just learn from you. Can I train with you? Can I just learn the game, at a higher level? He said, yeah, I'm training with Alshon maybe 2 weeks. One day, Alshon, he sleeps in. I'm supposed to meet him at the facility. He doesn't show up. But Deuce Staley shows up in the facility. How do I know who Deuce Staley is? Because he played at Airport High School, he played for the Gamecocks, and he played for the Philadelphia Eagles. And at this time, he's coaching for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh.
I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I gotta say something to Deuce Staley.
Right?
I say, Deuce Staley, how you doing? My name is Trick Williams. I'm coaching at your alma mater, Airport High School. He said, for real? Come with me to my car. Let me draw you up some plays so you can show Coach Burnett. I said, I ain't worried about no plays. I ain't worried about Airport. I want to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. He says, you serious? I'm dead serious. He said, send me your film. Let's see what we can do. I sent him my film. He said, nothing we can do right now, but stay in contact with me. Okay. I coach at
Door
Airport.
open.
Doors open. That's a great relationship.
Yeah.
I'm coaching these kids with my cleats on. You know what I mean? I'm pouring my heart into it. I'm
Just
staying
meaning you're staying ready.
I'm staying
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go to the NFL Spring League this year. It's the first year they did the NFL Spring League. And I get good film. And they have a database sheet in the NFL. It was like John.Smith at Ravens.NFL. So if you find this database sheet, you can pretty much contact any coach in the NFL.
Okay.
I contacted every single coach
Amen.
in all 32 teams.
That's awesome.
Every wide receiver coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, tight end coach. My name is Trick Williams. Here's my tape. I played in NFL Spring League. I played at South Carolina, played at Hampton. Here's my resume. 2 teams got to me. Who are the 2 teams?
Patriots.
The New England Patriots
And the
and the
Eagles.
Green Bay Packers.
Oh, no.
Yes. The two that's right. The 2 doors that I knocked on in the first place.
Right.
And they said, sorry, thank you for sitting in your highlights, but we don't have space for you.
Oh, no shit.
I said, oh my gosh.
You were
But
like, the next one I know is coming.
My mom said, have you talked to Deuce Staley? This is the same year that the
Oh, my,
Eagles
I
win
have
this.
such goosebumps right now.
This is a true story.
This
I lie to
is
you
crazy.
Not. This is a true story. This is the same year that the Eagles win the Super Bowl. So I've been in contact with them. I've been in contact with great win coach, great win coach, great win coach. They win the Super Bowl. And then my mom said, did you send your stuff to Deuce? I said, all right, I didn't want to bother him, but here we go. I sent my stuff to Deuce. 2 weeks later, He calls me. He says, Trick Williams, have you ever been to camp in the NFL? I said, no, sir, I haven't. He said, congratulations. We are bringing you into NFL rookie mini camp with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Holy shit.
What?
No
That
football
is
agent,
Crazy.
no stats my senior year, coaching changes, demon practice, a whole year out of the game, coaching the kids. Found myself in rookie mini camp with the Philadelphia Eagles, just like this. I lie to you not. I go to camp with the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, I've been coaching the kids. I know how to get in and outside my routes. Like, I'm good now. Man, I get to camp. Any ball thrown in my direction, I was catching it and coming down with it.
Right?
I had the best camp ever. I say, if this doesn't work,
Right. It's not for
It's
for
not
lack
meant
of
to be.
talent and
Yeah.
effort.
I get cut.
No.
I get cut. And I asked Deuce Taylor, I said, what can I do to make this team? He said, there's nothing you can do to make the team. Just try your best not to mess it up. They cut me. I said, but everything that I had been through up to that point, 20 years of playing the game, I was like, there has to be something better for me. Like, one tear shed down my face. All right, what's next?
Big news, WWE and sports fans. The world's #1 sports fan festival, Fanatics Fest, is making its return to New York City. Fanatics is bringing you closer to the leagues, teams, superstars, and athletes you love across 4 action-packed days in July.
Meet your favorite WWE superstars, get your hands on exclusive merch, and interact with the biggest names in sports.
Then fans of the show can get a 10% discount by using Steph10 at checkout. That's STEPH, the number 1, the number 0 at checkout.
I finally signed with a football agent.
Okay.
I finally signed with a football agent.
Okay.
And this one's going
the
to hit really
story
home for you.
continues.
This is
Okay.
where you get involved.
Oh.
I finally signed with a football agent. He said, man, you have great film to worry. We can get you to another NFL team. Nothing happens. Like, man, what the heck is going on?
Right?
He says, don't worry about it. We're going to get you with the XFL. He sends my stuff to the XFL. WWE reaches out to me the next day. He said, are you interested in coming in for a tryout? I said, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can wear those tights like Triple H used to wear back in the day, man. I don't know if I can, you know what I mean? I got to put on these tights, man. I don't know if I can wear these tights. I say, Dad, you think I should go wrestle? He said, you better go out there and do something. And then when I thought about it, like, bro, this is the perfect opportunity. The Attitude Era. I grew up on the Attitude Era.
Right?
Man, like, I was 3 years old watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I opened a can of whoop ass at 3 years old. My mama had to cut off wrestling. You know, that was my first cuss word, watching Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know what I mean?
Great.
I lie to you not. These are all true stories. These are not jokes. These are stories.
Oh my God, that's so great.
And man, and like when I thought about it, I was like, bro, this is exactly who I am. Like when I thought about all the,
And you put all the pieces.
when I put all the pieces together, I was like, I'm working so hard at football. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I said, I love to talk. You know what I mean? I do public speaking. I'm working with the kids, all this stuff. It's what I do naturally. I'm athletic. Obviously, I can do all of this stuff. I just never once, like
thought
nobody,
about a possibility.
like WWE was over here, WWE was over here, NFL was over here. I just never,
Put the two
Yeah.
together.
I never put the two together.
But there's one piece that I'm confused on because the tape was submitted for the XFL. But how did becoming a superstar, like, was it opened by the wrong department? Did
It must
somebody
have been
say,
the wrong department. I think it was your department and you knew I had potential.
I think God intervened.
I think God
right?
intervened.
Because that's your whole story.
That's my whole story.
And it's so interesting too because your dream was just that you got the opportunity, not that you were on the team.
And
Right?
the dream was just getting inside the door.
Yeah.
That was it. And that's all it took.
And then learning that it wasn't your path.
Man,
Right?
like, that's
Like,
a lot of
it's
work
like,
for
right.
nothing.
God, why'd you do that to me?
I know.
You
But
know?
you had to get there
I had to get there.
and experience all of that. Plus,
And I learned so many lessons along the way about being a superstar. I don't know how much time we got, but I could talk
we
all
got
day.
lots of
Yeah.
time. This
Okay.
is your time.
So, man, I remember a guy named Corey Jackson. When I was coaching at Airport High School, He came and he was a public speaker, and he played in the NFL, and he shared how, he played basketball his whole life, and he played one season of football, and he made it to the NFL. I'm like, how in the world you do that? And he's 6'7", great guy, and I went and talked to him.
Yeah.
I said, hey, Corey, like, my name is Trick Williams. Man, your testimony moved me. I said, I would like to just learn from you. He said, man, I tell you what, come to my office. I go to his office, we chop it up, I just learn from him. He says, we're going to Orlando. You know what I mean? The Pro Bowl is in Orlando. I'm gonna do some guest speaking for the Hall of Fame and different stuff like that. I just want you to come with me, and I just want you to meet certain people and just, you know what I mean?
Have the experience.
Have the experience.
Yeah.
And I learned so many lessons through this moment. I remember the first time I got there, I'm talking to a gold jacket, a Hall of Famer there. He's like, hey, man, you're a good-looking kid. What you do? Like, yeah, so I'm coaching at airport, but I'm really trying to get to the NFL. I'm giving this long story. And he was like, okay.
I asked you, but I didn't really want the
I got
answer.
something to do. You know what I mean? And then Corey pulled me to the side. He said, from now on, you are a free agent. All that other stuff.
Talk yourself up.
He
Yeah.
said, you speak highly of yourself.
Yeah.
You are a free agent. All that, I don't know what that was. Don't you say that again.
Don't you ever do that
You
again.
embarrassed me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, got it. I'm a free agent.
Yes.
You know
got
what I mean?
that. Yeah.
And then we go to this club, and all the Pro Bowlers are there. All the Pro Bowlers. I ain't gonna give no names because
Okay,
where the story's going.
All right.
All the top profile guys are there. I'm there with my shirt off. You know what I mean? 'Cause,
Right, of course.
that's what Trick
Of
Williams
course.
does. Now I remember, like, everybody,
You want to stand out.
I want to stand out.
Yeah.
But honestly, I got shirt on for you today. Out of respect.
One of your
But I've
three.
been like this a
One of
long
three.
time. You gotta understand. But I remember, like, all the guys just lined up. And like, when you're in these situations, like, the women just go crazy. They flying over you. And I remember top guys in the NFL to my right and to my left. I remember it was like girls
Yeah.
coming up to me, like walking past him and walking past him. They're worth millions of dollars.
Uh-oh.
I'm substitute teaching at Airport Hospital. You know what I'm saying? And they looking at me like, who's this dude think he is?
And you're smiling.
And I'm smiling like, yeah, you know what I mean? But I learned some valuable lessons from that too. I said, these girls are right here because they think that I'm worth millions of dollars.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm right here with everybody else. So I'm glad I got to see that right then and there, because if I would have got there and I was a Pro Bowler by myself, I would have thought it was because Trick Williams was so great.
That's right.
You know, because my
That's right.
abs poke out so much, like, oh, they chose me over everybody else. It might be true. But the overwhelming arc is, if they knew the reality of who I was at the time, they wouldn't have
paid
been there.
you any attention.
They wouldn't have paid me any attention. I had to see that. I had to experience all these things.
Boy, that's cool that was your perspective too.
Yeah. I mean, and then
Because you could have just been enjoying the moment.
Right, totally.
yeah, but you know,
And maybe you did that too.
You know what I mean? No, I didn't.
No?
Because it
'Cause it
wasn't
didn't
right.
feel right.
It wasn't
Yeah,
right. You
right.
know what I mean? Like, I had to be real with myself. I said, no, I want to earn everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
And then that's not really a perk, because what does that really mean for me?
Right.
You know what I mean? I got Lash Legend now. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
Like, you know what I mean? I got
Yeah.
something waiting for me that's even better. But that was important for me to see at the time. Like, don't be a mark.
I don't know a lot of men who would have made that decision.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Corey said the same thing.
Yeah.
He was like,
For real.
He said-
Who you are is very impressive.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. My mom took her time.
Yeah, well, you obviously have incredible parents and you're cut from a beautiful, strong cloth.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All true stories, no jokes. But that was just another story of just all these things.
Yeah, so that was one of the lessons. What's another one that and a very important lesson to learn, especially as a professional athlete.
yes,
You
for
know,
sure.
I
For
mean,
sure.
and before you really became, something, right?
Mm-hmm,
And now you're on the rise and you have Lash, but that's,
Mm-hmm.
To learn that lesson so early is important. So many professional athletes get
Lost
in
the sauce.
terrible positions.
Yeah.
Lost in the sauce. And
Yeah.
I can see how it can happen. Like, man, when you winning and you're doing well in the business and you're successful,
Sure.
you're untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing can happen to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm champ. I'm doing this. I'm Super Bowl, whatever the case is. I'm glad that I had to lose everything.
Yeah.
Everything, to the point I was down to 14 cents when I paid off all my bills.
Wow.
And that's when WWE called me.
You're kidding
I'm
again.
dead serious. that's when WWE called me. I lost everything. Everything.
Because at that time, so now you know. What I'm confused is your timing at Rikishi School and like when did all that happen?
Okay, so all right, so after that whole Eagles thing, the whole debacle, I go back to the school system, and then I go to a trial with WWE, and they said, if you're serious, we can tell you never wrestled before.
Right.
Go learn how to wrestle, and we'll bring you back.
Okay.
No guarantees, no
But
promises.
so they had seen your tape,
They see my tape.
liked you, reached out to
They
you,
liked me.
and this is what they said.
They
when
say you're
reached out.
athletic, you're
Okay.
charismatic, but you need
got
to learn,
potential.
You need to know what the business is about. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's just a little bit.
you need
yeah.
to understand what we do here.
Yeah.
So from there, I was like, am I ready to drop my identity as a football player? I've been playing for 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like, am I really done with football? You know what I mean? I'm substituting, coaching the kids, and like, is this self-seeking? You know what I mean? Am I just trying to go be something on my own? And yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do. It's hard to be a teacher. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard, and
It's the system doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't.
So that's when I moved to Philadelphia again. That's when the whole Sweet Baby James thing, I've talked that story for a long time. I'm gonna save that story, but I moved back to Philly and I'm training at CZW. And that's when I had my first, wrestling match. And I'm wrestling under the character Sweet Daddy Trick. And I lie to you not, Stephanie, my first match, it might have been 12 people there.
Sure.
13.
Yeah.
It was the most lit environment I've ever been in my life. That's when
Those 13 people,
those 13
they were in
people,
it.
they were in it. They felt it. They was on the journey with me. And
That's so cool.
I knew I found my purpose right then and there.
Wow, that was your moment.
That was my moment.
Wow.
I knew. I didn't sleep for 2 days.
Wow.
You know what I
In
mean?
front of
And it
only
just-
13 people. That's
Right? And it hit
13
you like
people.
a lightning bolt.
I knew it.
Like when you just know it's the right answer.
I knew it. I get to
Yeah.
be every piece of who I am. You know what I mean? I get to talk. I get to take my shirt off. I get to perform. I get to, all my gifts, I get to put it all into one and present it to the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Hell
the world
yeah.
was 13 people that night, but it didn't matter. And I get to present
That's
it to
so
everybody.
great.
And
It's
then-
so great that you felt that.
I mean, I suggest if anybody gets into the business, they need to see what it's about. Because if you don't have a moment like that that has you hooked and makes you love it,
Yeah.
then it's too much to just
Right. I agree. Because it is hard.
Yes,
It's a tough life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in addition to all the bumps.
for sure.
But it's an exciting, gift as well. I mean, you get to, I've heard you say, you guys feel like you're cheating or whatever, like you get to travel the world together, and it is true. Like you have the opportunity to learn how to be, right? How to be a star, how to be, the best person for your audience that you can be.
sure.
You get to travel, you get to do all this community work. You can learn behind the scenes if that's something that interests you.
sure.
You can learn a different language. You can take financial aid classes. You can take classes in general.
That's
like
right.
there are so many opportunities within the system.
That's right.
And it's like but it's hard.
It is hard.
But it is hard. It's a grind. And I think if you don't have the strength of character and the love of the business and the gratitude sort of mindset, it'll eat you up.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just not meant for you.
For sure. No,
Right.
I definitely agree. And then, yeah, that's where we went from Philly to COVID breaking out. Yeah, so they WWE called me for a trial. They said, we're going to bring you back. This is the day COVID breaks out.
Holy cow.
The day. And other people was there too. Solo Sikoa was there. Jade Cargill was there. Tiffany Stratton was there.
Really? This
wow.
whole crew.
This whole crew is at the same tryout.
What a group.
Yeah, COVID breaks out, and then they say, all right, sorry guys, but we're going to send you back home. COVID is
So
more
you
serious.
never had the chance to do
So
anything.
I never got the chance to be
Okay,
there. And then
okay.
that's when I moved to LA and Knox Pro with Rikishi and everything
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Okay.
And that's when I'm online teaching and DoorDashing and anything I can to just make some money to pay my rent.
That's great he was able to keep the school going.
Yeah, he was the only one. We had to wear masks and everything. And it was a weird time.
It's such a weird time
It
for
was a weird
everybody.
time. Yeah.
My oldest daughter, it was her freshman year at a new high school.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to wear masks. and sit at like isolated tables and, you know, like partition tables, and you weren't allowed to socialize, and we all thought we were going to die. And it was crazy.
It was a crazy time.
really
you know,
crazy.
that's a win in itself that we're past COVID.
Right?
Right.
And they say every 100 years or so, there's some type of epidemic.
Well, we're good now, bro. A little bit. Hate to be so positive.
No, yeah, that's great. That's a great way to look at it. We lived through it, but we did.
We did.
We did live through it. So that's when you go to Rikishi school and you get some more experience. And now you get you get a call back.
Yes.
Like, so post-COVID now, how does it go down?
At the Performance Center?
Yeah.
Okay, at the Performance Center. Yeah, so, you know, my class is pretty special. You know what I mean? We're the 2.0 group. Braun Breaker, the Creed brothers, Tony D'Angelo, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller. All us, we came in together. It's still during COVID, you know, that funny time right there. And yeah, man, like I remember them just throwing us into the deep end.
Yeah.
I remember 2 weeks, I was there for 2 weeks, and I get a dot on my TR app that said, "You're going to SmackDown." I said, "Oh, shoot." They said, "Yeah, you're going to SmackDown, but don't get a big head. You didn't deserve it yet." I said, "Okay, you know what I mean? Let's just see what's going to happen."
Right?
This is when Apollo Crews is doing his
Right.
Nigerian gimmick.
Okay.
And I'm one of his Nigerian bodyguards
No
standing
way.
behind him.
You were.
I didn't know what the hard camera was.
Right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? I just see a bunch of monitors and
Right,
everything looking
right.
at me. And it was a crazy time.
Also great experience.
Also great experience.
Yeah.
And then, you know, all the producers, everybody in the back said they loved the segment and everything like that. The next week I get COVID.
No.
Yeah, so they said, let's leave those NXT boys down there.
Yeah.
We can't chance that.
We can't mix.
We can't mix.
Right?
And that's how that whole thing started and ended for me.
Wow. But again,
Perfect.
meant to be this way.
Meant to be this way. I
Way
wasn't
better.
tripping.
Way
I
better.
wasn't tripping. I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, but so cool though for you to, well, just to get that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like huge. Obviously, you knew you had something they were interested in,
for sure.
right?
For sure.
And then you go and to have that experience in the ring where you don't where you learn
Mm-hmm.
even before you ever make it up there again, right? But it's like you had the chance to stand in the ring and to feel all that and experience all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't such a surprise the next time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It was definitely beneficial to my career.
Yeah.
You know, my first time going through Gorilla, because I wasn't even on NXT TV.
Right?
So I
Right?
remember like little things like pyro being the loudest thing ever in the
And
world.
it's hard not to react to it.
Yes, like my
Yeah.
heart jumping straight to my stomach.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Ugh."
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So if you watch when I briefly managed Kurt Angle, every time his pyro would go off, but on camera, I mean, I couldn't help it, and I would just talk to myself, "Don't move, don't jump,
Yeah,
don't jump," and I'd do it anyway. I couldn't help it.
yeah, like you need these reps, you know what I mean,
Yes,
to
yes,
see
you
these
do.
things. And then they throw us, you know, into the deep end again with the whole rebranding of the 2.0.
Sure.
And everything like that. And pretty
So,
much
so
most
how
of
did
us,
that feel when that happened? So it was black and gold,
it was black and gold.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember because especially it was right around the time of my husband's heart attack, right? So
Right.
it was very clear then when the rebrand happened, right? It was just like a very particular time. I remember it
For sure.
clearly.
For sure.
And it became all colorful.
all colorful.
yeah.
We had the new NXT title with the rainbow and everything
Right.
like that. But it was an interesting time because it was a rumor like all of you will be debuting next week on TV. Like, okay, you know what I mean? You're selling us a dream.
Right.
You told us when you signed this, it's probably going to take 3 years, 4 years. And sure enough,
For NXT to get placement?
for
you
NXT
mean?
to get placement.
Okay, okay.
Because when you're coming in as an athlete, like I had some experience on the indies, but you know, I was still in the athlete category. It took some time for me to, you know, experience what the business is truly about. So when they say we're going, you know, next week we're gonna get this thing going, it's like, oh shoot. He said, Trick and Mello, y'all gonna be a package deal. And from there, you know, Mello's like,
But you guys sort of came up together,
yeah,
right?
we was the same class, you know what I mean? And we, you know, he always wanted to be a solo act. And I always wanted to be a solo act.
Sure.
You know, because
Yeah, that was
that was the dream.
Yeah.
That was the goal. And they said, y'all gonna do this together. And to Melo's credit, you know, he took the challenge, you know, on the head and said, let's do this, let's make this work. And I was able to learn a lot from Melo. And I feel like it was beneficial for both of us, you know, them throwing us into the deep end of NXT 2.0 to see us both doing our thing today is pretty dope.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
Yeah.
What do you think is like? Is there a moment when you guys? What are some of the things he taught you? You know, in being a package deal, and so he taught you whatever you're given, you're going to make it great,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
And B, like, what are some of the other?
I would say having an athletic background, you know, I was raised and my pops is in the military. There's a dynamic of, you know, players play, coaches coach. You know what I mean? Whatever they say, you do.
Right.
And you like it.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Where people who came from the Indies had a more sense of being their own personal brand and being in control of their brand. And like, if they don't like something, like they pitch in different things.
Right. They're part of the process.
You know,
Yeah.
I never went to Steve Spurrier and said, I don't like your play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's
if I
throw
did
it to
this
me.
instead?
You know, I would have got the ball way more if that was the case. I could have saved myself a long time. I've been open for years. You know, that's all I had to do. You know,
If only you knew.
If only I knew. Like, just go say so. But that's one of the things I learned. Like,
Right.
he had ideas and he formed a relationship, you know, with the writers and everything like that. I'm like,
That's smart. Yeah.
I'm like, man, like, you know, I've always, in a weird way, I always looked at the coach as like the opposition, probably because of Hampton. You know what I
That's so
mean?
interesting.
They told me like, and I always had a chip on my shoulder
Right.
where I had to prove to the coaches that I'm good enough and you're going to give me the spot because I earned it. And I saw him actually, he didn't have that chip. He probably has a different chip. I don't know.
Everybody's got some
Everybody
kind
got
of
a chip, you know what I mean? But, you know, he worked with them for the best product. And I was like, you know, I was like, how you do that?
Collaborative.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Up to that point, I've never been able to just kind of go with the flow and trust the process. So that was where I had to learn, like, yo, this is a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And everybody wants everybody's brand to be as big as it possibly can be because at the end of the day, we want to make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe it
It's
might
a business at the
it's
end
a
of the day.
business.
Yeah.
And it might be your role.
For all of us, right?
For all of us.
Everybody.
It might be your role to help somebody else look better today.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But at the end of the day, if you do it well, then somebody might be helping you one day.
That's right.
And that's why exactly what I was doing for Melo, Lil Yachty's doing for me today.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know?
The gingerbread man shirt.
Let's talk about it.
Oh my God.
That was my idea.
Good.
Was it?
You know, of course.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
gingerbread,
it. And I
ginger
just
ale,
saw.
ginger snap.
I just saw the new one.
Is it
Have
pretty
you
good?
seen it?
I heard something. I heard something's in the works.
Wait. I don't know if it was sent to me. I think it was. It was either shown to me or it was sent to me. No, I've seen it. Well, I'm gonna show them first.
Oh, that's perfect.
I got a tease.
Oh, that's selling out. That's selling out.
I'm buying one.
I'll show you later.
I just
I know
don't
Sammy
know.
don't like
mean,
me. I know he don't like me, man.
I'm happy to share it. I love it. I love it.
It's so good.
Oh,
Okay,
man, that's good.
so-
I know he's sick of me. I know he's sick of me.
Oh my God, it's great. It's great.
Yeah,
it
dude.
is so great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing
Thank
this
you.
weekend too.
Oh, yeah, man. We're going to turn it up, man. I got another chip on my shoulder. You know what I mean? It's the first WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Let's
but
talk
so
about
tell
it.
me a little bit about Lil Yachty.
Man,
Because
look,
he looks like he is having the time of his life. And he took one hell of a haluba kick.
man,
I mean, he impressed me.
this is what he told me. He says, Trick, I can't believe they let me do WrestleMania with you. He said, I ain't want to take no shortcuts. I ain't want to go straight to the top. He said, I want to go to Delaware. I want to go to Baton Rouge. He said, I want to be one of the boys.
Oh.
He said, I love this business. I've been watching this for years. And you know what I mean? And he wants to be one of the boys. Like,
Yeah.
Like we talk, man, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning, like, you know.
Lash is like, Yachty,
Lash
stop
has had
calling.
enough. She has had enough, you know what I mean? But man, that's my boy, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy because we both have a desire for excellence. You know, we want it to be good.
That's clear.
You know what I mean? We want everything that we do to feel like
Yeah.
magic. You know,
Yeah.
that same feeling that we felt when y'all was doing your thing in the Attitude Era. Like everything has to feel real to the people.
Yes.
And he loves it. And, you know, he said he wants to have a match.
All right, you heard it here first.
yeah.
Yachty say he wants a match, man. He gonna get in shape and we're gonna do this.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
for
Let's
sure.
make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
My new legacy title is an original, fully custom designed from the ground up to commemorate my career inside and out of the WWE ring. The belt features 907 crystals, golden metallic prints, a black velvet strap, and the center and side plates contain artwork in reference to the McMahon family crest. You can get my legacy belt now at WWE Shop and Fanatics. Road to Gold is the latest WWE exclusive from Fanatics Casino, bringing WrestleMania thrills right to your fingertips. It is the most star-studded casino game ever built. Spin reels featuring 20 WWE superstars from Cody Rhodes to John Cena and my personal favorite, Triple H.
And for the first time ever in an online casino game, you'll hear the voice of WWE himself, Michael Cole. Battle to the top for rewards with bonus spins, mystery wins, and cash collect moments.
This is WrestleMania Road to Gold, and it only lives at Fanatics Casino. Must be 21 and over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Not available in all states. See Fanatics Casino app. So, I don't want to end it. How long has it been? Okay, we can keep going. Yeah. Because this is too good.
Oh yeah, I'm right
Yeah,
here.
no,
I got
this
stories
is
for
fun.
days.
Yeah, you do. And I think part of what you just said about demanding excellence of yourself, right? Like that is obviously a key value, that you've put on yourself throughout your life,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
And where do you think you get that from?
Man,
Like you've mentioned your mom and your dad.
yeah.
Like do you think growing up in a military family taught you some of these core values?
For sure, man. Like, my pops he was rough in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we up at 5 o'clock, you know what I mean? Make sure the house is clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we playing football, we playing sports.
And it's you and how many siblings?
I have 2 brothers.
Okay.
Andre's my older brother, Hassan's my younger brother.
Okay.
You know,
3 boys, 3
and
big boys, I imagine.
Big boys.
Yeah.
We competing, you know what I mean? We wrestling.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
I
tearing
broke
the house down.
I broke Hassan's collarbone in a Royal Rumble, you know what I mean? At 10 years old. Yeah.
And he was 8?
He was 7.
7.
He was 7. It was the scariest day of my life.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my God, you must have felt awful.
Yeah, parents wasn't home.
What happened?
Man, he had to go.
No, but like, what'd you do? How'd
Body
you do it?
slam off the top. Royal Rumble style.
But onto what?
on the ground,
Hard floor.
on the floor.
And how did he land to break his
He
collarbone?
landed. I didn't see him because I was in my victory stance.
Right.
You know, but I just remember the yell,
The sound.
the sound.
Did you hear it crack?
I heard his, ah! It was a sound that I'd never heard anybody make
A human
before.
make, yeah.
And it's like he moved and then he stopped. I thought he was paralyzed.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yes. So, the viewer's discretion, don't try these moves at home.
Yeah, no, we
Let's take these very
for sure
seriously.
do not try this
because
at
I'm
home.
a living example. But Hassan's doing great. He'll be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, he's all good. He's all
doing
good now.
good.
But
He's
so,
doing great.
I mean, I know those moments, right? Like I was more on the receiving end, but
I'm sorry.
but I can't. But I can't imagine how you felt
Yeah, I felt
thinking
terrible.
you hurt your little brother, and your parents are not home,
They're not home.
and you're 10.
I'm 10.
So what do you do? Who's the oldest kid there?
Andre.
Okay, your
He
brother.
comes in
Who's
and
what? 12, 13?
He's 13.
Okay.
And he's notorious for telling on us anyways. So
Okay, of course.
this is right up his alley. Yeah, Mom! You know what I'm saying? He's going to be mad I said that. Right? But look,
He's your big brother.
that's my big brother. And that's one time I didn't get a whooping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't whoop that trick that time because
Yeah.
I
You
was
felt
already
so bad.
I was already
You were so scared.
and we went to the ER and he was wearing a sling, but I actually helped his game because he was a lefty.
Huh.
And when I did that to the left side of his collarbone, he developed the right side, so he became
Right?
a better athlete you
On
know,
the right side?
So he
Just
has me to
helping him
think.
out.
You know,
Oh,
I did it
that's
with him
right.
in
So
mind.
is he ambidextrous?
Now he's ambidextrous.
Yeah,
he can do
hey
it
now.
all. He can do it all.
There's always a silver lining.
That's right. But yeah, man.
But so your dad would have you up at 5 a.m, all three of you
5 a.m.
clean the house.
Clean the house, like
And do
going on
what?
runs, like football practice. Like I remember we used to go to the gym like 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? We'll go on runs in the neighborhood, like
And you never
How
knew
old?
what it was when he woke
sorry.
you up? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, how old were you guys?
Man, I
going to
was
the gym
young.
at 5 a.m.
I might have been 5 all the way up to like,
Damn.
graduating. Like, he wanted to stay in good shape.
Yeah,
Right?
And,
And you wanted you
you're
with
coming
him?
with him.
And he wanted us
Or
with
was
him.
your mom working or like
My mom was probably sleeping.
sleeping?
She was
Okay,
probably sleeping.
okay.
Good for her.
But honestly, speaking to that fact, and I hope my pops wouldn't mind, but I watched him be the hardest worker,
Yeah.
our entire life.
Set the example.
He worked in the school system. You know what I mean? Like he was coaching after, he got hurt in the military. You know what I mean? And I saw
And what branch? Not that it matters.
he was
but,
in the Navy.
okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna share this, and I hope he doesn't mind. But this is just a testament to the man he is. Like I watch him work all type of different jobs. You know what I mean? From teaching. He was in the Navy. He was, he was our football coaches. He worked in car repair. You know what I mean?
He did anything and everything.
Anything to make sure that we was good. He'd come back smelling like
Provide.
oil.
Yeah.
Everything he could just to make sure we was good. When you're young, you don't really realize what that means.
Right.
But as a man, I'm like, he had no pride, no ego. And he demanded that out of us too.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to learn how to do this. As a man, you need to learn how to do this. There ain't no time for being lazy. You won't be sorry. Like, we watched it firsthand.
Yeah.
So that's why all of us, work ethic has never been a problem. Like, that's not even an option to be sorry and not do your job. That's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah, because they sacrificed too much for us to get to this point. Too much.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And my mom was the same way. She spoke greatness into us. Like, I just remember, be like, y'all gonna be so famous one day.
Yeah?
Like, y'all gonna be famous. Y'all gonna be, the women gonna be throwing their panties at you. They're gonna be throwing their panties at you. You're gonna be swatting them away. You're gonna be swatting them away. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be me.
Absolutely, that's me.
Sounds great, Mom.
But this is who she is, you know what I mean? And she spoke greatness into us. Another story. I remember, like I told you, that game I went back to South Carolina State. I wasn't playing. My grandfather passed away. And I came home. I didn't even ride back with the team. I said, I need some time to figure out what I'm going to do. And I remember just talking to my mom. I said, Mom, like, I don't know what's going on in my life right now. Like, nothing's happened the way I thought it would. She said, you are a king created by God Almighty. Never forget who you are, whose you are. They can't break you. And that's the same thing I chant when I go into the ring sometimes. I'm a king created by God Almighty. Never forget who you are, whose you are. They can't break you. Sometimes I ain't saying nothing, but sometimes I am saying those exact very words because it's an affirmation. Me putting my foot in the ground, letting the world know who I am. So even if I'm nervous, even if I don't know what I'm going to do, if I know I'm just go out there and give everything I got, that's enough. And that gave me enough confidence to just go do my thing from there.
As a mother, that moves me more than you can possibly realize.
Wow, yeah,
Because she obviously loves you so much
sure.
that she spoke all that truth, but giving you that affirmation and believing every single word of it when she said it to you, enough to make you believe it and feel
sure.
it. And now that you say that before you go out for your matches, most of the time.
Yeah, she said this at the lowest, one of the lower points. You know what I mean? Like,
You needed it.
I needed it,
Yeah.
and it hit home.
Yeah. You were listening.
I was listening. I had to. I had nothing else to hold on to.
That's a good mom.
Yeah,
So you're middle child.
I'm the middle child. I keep everything together. You know what I mean?
Is that the role of the middle child?
I think so. At least in my house.
Left out.
Yeah, I heard the middle child doesn't ever feel, like they get the attention.
Oh, so maybe that's why I have a chip on my shoulder. Too. Yeah. It might be a little bit of both.
Maybe there's more than one chip.
Maybe there's more than one Chips Ahoy. You know, there's chips everywhere.
I do love Chips Ahoy.
Okay.
Yeah, you soak them in milk though. I like. Yeah, because they're too crispy.
That's
otherwise,
Like the chewy ones?
No, I don't like the chewy.
No,
They don't smell the same. I find they don't. Do you eat Chips Ahoy ever?
Not
Chips
anymore,
Ahoy?
man. Not anymore.
Ahoy.
I gotta keep that. You know what I mean? I gotta keep.
You gotta keep
ching,
the
ching, ching,
abs,
ching, ching.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
So what is your cheat? Do you have a go-to?
Oh man, so
This is one of our favorite questions, actually.
man, pizza, man. Pizza is the perfect. Like whoever invented pizza, can you imagine them just saying, "We're gonna take this dough, take them tomatoes over there, mush them up, you know, basil, spinach, cheese, Mamma Mia." You know what I mean? Like, who thought about pizza?
I don't know.
It is
I don't
perfect.
know. Somebody.
Yeah.
It is
Somebody.
perfect.
It is. I love pizza too.
And then, like, we might throw some pepperoni on it. I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
Right?
See,
Some
but
other
I don't do the
things.
pork no more. But there's not many things in life I miss more than a pepperoni pizza.
Oh, sorry, I brought it
You
up.
were never a bacon guy.
I love bacon,
Oh.
but you know I
can't eat it.
sacrificed it for
Yeah.
for the greater good.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. And again, here you are, sacrificing, giving up what you love.
Yeah, yeah, you
Right?
got to,
Yeah.
you got to.
So thick or thin crust? Or both?
I'm going thin crust, man.
What about Sicilian? I love a good
Come
Sicilian
on now,
slice.
you know we got WrestleMania in 3 days. Man.
No, it's for
Don't be
after.
tempting
It's
me
for
with the good-
after.
Okay, after.
I'm helping you plan.
Okay. But yeah, pizza.
Like, what do you and Lash love to do if you're like, you finish a big event,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna go, celebrate. What does that look like?
You know what we love? We go to BJ's and get one of those Pazookies. It's like a big chocolate chip cookie,
Oh,
and then throw vanilla ice cream, 2 scoops.
do you heat up the
And
bazooki?
oh my
Is the
goodness.
cookie warm
It is amazing.
with melted chocolate?
It's greatness.
Yes, and then the ice cold ice cream combined with the warm
$8.99.
chocolate gooiness.
$8.99.
Yes.
What else is in this?
Oh man, just a warm chocolate chip cookie.
And
But just so I don't feel totally bad, I get my chocolate chip cookie gluten free.
Okay,
But then I put my ice cream on
That's
top.
all right.
You
That's
know
all
what I mean? But that's my cheat meal.
And vanilla ice cream.
Vanilla ice
Vanilla.
cream.
It's got to cut through the
Yeah,
sweetness.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little boom, little boom.
Yeah,
you
little
know what I mean?
combo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you like to have 2 cookies and chipwich it?
You know,
Too much.
now you're getting nasty.
I can go there
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
Now you're taking it to a whole
yeah.
nother level.
because it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
too.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And then you could even put chocolate chips. Like the original chipwich,
Roll
but
it.
you
So
can
are
make
both
it
of these
on
cookies
your own.
warm? They're both warm?
Well, it depends on what you're doing,
Okay,
right? Because
okay.
if you're eating it warm with the cold ice cream, I see that's its own independent
Mm-hmm.
spoon-fed thing, right? Because the cookie's gonna break up.
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure. For
and you
sure.
want it to be able to.
to break just a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Almost.
I
warm.
know.
Oh man.
With I'm telling you, we're right there.
wait.
But yeah, if
What's
you're
your
doing the
cheat meal?
chipwich,
What's your
then-
cheat meal?
Well, right now I'm kind of not indulging.
Okay.
Right, but I do love cereal and granola in particular.
Granola cereal?
So what I
Chocolate
do
chips.
love is I mix granola and I have this new granola that's like very healthy granola. Apparently, I used to eat the not great.
Okay.
This is really good, healthy, as far as it can be, with chocolate chips and milk.
Okay.
And I eat it like a cereal.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I love cereal.
And it's not too unhealthy. You can eat that
No,
every day.
that's the thing. I mean, but obviously too much of anything is too much. But and there's still like sugar in the chocolate, But it's this type of chocolate that's like really good for you.
Healthy cheat meal.
I mean, not with the amounts.
She's like, well, when I eat the whole bowl.
In theory, it's a great healthy cheat, but yeah, I like it. I like to eat a lot, like when I'm gonna have a cheat. And I don't know what that is, but it's like I've got to overeat, to satisfy whatever craving that is.
You deserve it. yeah, you work hard. Yeah, for sure.
Like a Sunday night meal for you.
Yeah, whenever it happens. Oh, this week, yeah. I'm not even thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am for you.
because it's gonna be an insane week and weekend.
That's right.
For all the right reasons.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. I can't wait.
And you guys are going to deliver in such an unexpected way.
Sure.
You are going to bring it to the next level. as you tend to do when you're out there. You've got everybody with you. Whoop that trick.
Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I want to ask you before I go too far about that. But I do want to. It's not just you and your match that I'm talking about, right? It's like you and your class. It's you and all of the talent that's out there competing. Like you guys are setting the bar for the next year's WrestleMania.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Like this is your WrestleMania, and I have no doubt all of you are gonna deliver.
For sure.
And over deliver.
That's right.
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
And we want our fans to keep wanting to come back
sure.
every single time.
That's right. Myself, Oba, Javon,
Yeah.
we all worked, to stand and deliver last
Yeah.
year.
Wow.
And I remember, like, everybody said, I'm going crazy. Like, man, they're going to remember our match. They're going to remember our match. And that's exactly what we did last year.
That's right.
Those are two guys, and myself included, who want to be the top of the business. And we all competing. You know what I mean? We both want that number. All three of us. We all want that number one spot.
Right.
But it's healthy, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
my
no,
boys,
it's good
they're my boys.
competition.
But like, nah, man, like, you went viral this week, I'm going viral too.
I'm going viral.
I'm going viral this week.
Yeah.
You know, every week we add it.
Level up.
Level up.
Yeah.
And I think we pushing each other. And I'm glad to be with them boys because they want it.
And you will all demand the best of each other.
For sure. For sure.
Right? It's like it brings out the best in you. It's healthy competition.
Healthy competition.
Yeah.
Which is necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In life.
If it was, oh, great job, you're so great, pat on the back. No, you're great. And then we go out there and we
Yeah,
suck
then what are
it
you
up.
going to do?
then-
Yeah.
Nah, man, get them out of
You
here.
don't want to be comfortable.
No,
That's not your nature.
My whole life, as we can see, I'm going to jump into the deep end and I'm going to learn how to swim.
Do you ever feel that moment of like, yes, I did this. I still have this, and this to go. But do you ever allow yourself to feel comfortable for any time?
Ironically, only time I felt it is when I go back and watch, like disconnected from it.
Yeah.
Because every match, I'm guilty of it. Like, I could have did this, I could have did that.
Right.
And it's always
You
in
pick
my
it apart,
mind.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then sometimes I go back and I watch something from like 2 years ago. Like, whoa, this moment was so magical. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's gone, you know what I mean? But like, look at what we did, 2 years ago with this or with that.
Yeah.
So, maybe I just process it late, and maybe that helps me stay hungry and everything in
Right,
the moment.
right.
So I don't think I would change it.
But I'm glad you get the glimpses of it anyway,
Yeah.
because, I mean, you sound like you're in such a great grounded place anyway. But sometimes, we did a pod with Paul the other day, and he was interviewing me actually, and we were talking about the ability to appreciate the moment when you're in the moment, right? And I was just watching Sean's documentary too, and he talks about the same thing. Like he couldn't appreciate what was happening in the moment, and he couldn't realize how big that moment was in the moment.
What does
right?
that look like to you?
So I'm just starting to get to this place where for the Hall of Fame, I'm feeling it and I'm able to appreciate it and accept it and take it in. And I wasn't there. Like I really genuinely was not there. And I've talked about this a lot, but it's like I did not feel like I deserved it.
Wow.
And getting to this place feels really, really good because if for nothing else, like it really is my whole life. And that's a lot of what I talk about in my speech. It's like, since I can remember, this is my life.
Wow.
And the journey that I've been through and where I am now and how old I am, right? I think my age reflects an ability or a maturity or a perspective, I guess,
carry it
maybe. Oh, thank you, thank you, bless you. But, you're able to look at things differently. And that's where I'm getting to and being able to enjoy it. And I wish, and actually I'm so mad at myself that I didn't enjoy it more in the moment with Cody.
Wow.
On Raw the other night because
You smacked him good.
I did. Well, come on now. You got to deliver when you're given the opportunity,
That's
right?
what you did. That's what you did.
But I was nervous, and more nervous than in the moment. And it was still great, and it was a lot of fun. But could have been even better if I weren't rusty, right? Because it's been a long time. And we were trying to think it through and hammer it out. And it was really cool because it was me, Cody, Paul Heyman, and Paul Levesque. And we were just riffing. That's cool. Right? And it's like reminded me so much of the old days, so to speak. And, you know, it was fun. It was really, really fun. And that part I was able to enjoy. But I wish I was in the moment more. I was in the moment, but... I will be. It helped prepare me more for Friday.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, as a fan of you and like your family, of course, and like watching those segments back in the day, you know, like it's crazy because like you literally did grow up in front of everybody. Like,
yeah.
Most of your life, but it's cool because like in our eyes, you know, from a fan perspective, like you can do no wrong. Like we just, it was so good, you know what I mean? And like,
and so bad. Man, I was so evil.
It's the right kind of bad.
Yeah, so evil.
It's the bad that we all love. You know what I mean? So I still go back and watch those segments, like when it's you and Shane and y'all just going at it and, you know, going against whoever and everything. So
it was fun.
It was beautiful.
It was so much fun. Yeah. Oh my God. We had a blast.
I love how y'all so vulnerable. It feels like with your whole family dynamic and like giving everything, you know, for the business. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
That's why I'm here.
But that's what it's all about, right? It's about giving, right? And that's what it was for. Like all my life, all I ever wanted to do was give back to the business because that was my family, right? Like, and I saw my parents work so hard. All they ever did, you know, was WWE. And at the time we couldn't afford, you know, a nanny or whatever. And they always took me to dinners, right? And there were always business dinners and I'd listen to the business side and then the creative side and like all the troubles they were having, right? Because my mom was the CEO and my dad was the, you know, founder creator. And and so to listen to their conversations about what was happening and what they were struggling with and who they were struggling with, more from a executive side than anything else, because they were trying to, you know, run the business at the same time. And it's just such a special business.
Right.
You know, there's nothing like it in the world.
It's nothing like it.
And it was such a privilege to be able to be a part of for all these years and to have had all of these experiences and all of these lessons and wild and crazy moments.
We need to do another episode. I just want to hear everything. Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch you and Trips when that come out tomorrow.
I hope that's good. I hope everybody likes it.
There's some great stories.
I mean, it's funny because we feel it. He even said, he goes, I don't know what to ask you because we know all of each other's stories.
Right.
I know. I was just sitting here listening to the two of them tell stories.
Right. You got firsthand.
She made more inappropriate comments in that one too.
Okay.
It's kind of her thing.
That's who I am.
But I would love to do it. I'd love to have a part 2. Are you kidding?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. I thought about you and Lash together even too.
I know, I was
We've
thinking
done
that.
some stuff together and it could be fun.
Man, I would love to work with Lash. You know, her dream match is against me for some reason.
Just a singles against you.
Just a singles against
There's
me.
like a weird thing there.
Yeah, you know what I
I'm saying nothing.
mean? Like, come on.
That seems like it has multiple levels.
Yeah, man. Like, what you really want out of this situation? Like, I just want to body
I want
slam
you
you.
to
Like,
do
come
the
on.
job for me.
Right. Yeah, man, you only think about yourself. But no, I love working with Lash.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you love her.
yeah.
And I've heard your story, and you said how you've always had so much game and swagger, and especially with words and everything, and you know, saddled up to her and tried to pour
right.
some honey, and like
Love Island, man.
honey
Love
did
Island.
not come out.
Man, that was not a good day for me. Because the truth is, I was hoping she was gonna give me like, you know, something I
A
could work
little
with.
something, right?
But as I looked into her eyes, it was nothing there.
Nothing.
Like
You didn't feel it.
I didn't feel it. I was
No.
like, oh, she's not feeling this. Let me
were
abort
like,
mission.
okay.
Like
Abort mission.
halfway through. But she just plays a good she has a good poker face.
Well, you gotta work for it. Right?
I had to work for it.
Yeah.
I had to work for it.
Amen.
I said, you know, I don't know if you heard what people have been saying between me and you, but
There's rumors.
you know,
Rumors
there's
going
rumors,
around.
you know what I mean, that you and me look good together? You no? Well, I told them no too. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it.
Just checking.
All right.
Good. I just want to make sure.
I just make sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Good. You said she like tapped you up.
Yeah. So, now we good. And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, she liked me. She
Yeah.
didn't play hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good
Well,
at that.
and you were
yeah.
so cute. You were saying how, because obviously you guys live together and how she'll still be like, there's a lizard in the house. And you're
Right.
like, you are the strongest woman I've ever known in my entire life. And you are, I need to do something with this lizard.
That's right.
Yeah.
She does not play about lizards. Like she doesn't open doors. If I'm there, I open the door. I'm like, what do you do when I'm not here?
Right. Well,
But
that's
you know.
different. That's different.
But that's where she allows me to be the man. And,
Yeah.
and she likes
That's great.
She and I appreciate
And
that
she
too.
wants you to be
She
the man.
wants me to
Yeah.
be the man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get every
That's
single
different.
door.
Yeah.
Every single door.
Good for you.
Open it and close it.
They,
Yeah. Go
Whatever
back,
you
open
need.
it again.
That's right.
Let's make it happen.
With a smile on
With
your
a smile
face.
on my face.
That's right. Happy
I'll
to do it.
remove every lizard, and then the tail comes off, and then I chase the rest of the lizard. And that's what happens,
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
The tail comes off when you. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Really? You mean like they jump out of their tail? They like detach their tail? Mm-hmm. Really?
And then they keep running.
Lizards
They-
are smart.
And then they regenerate?
They regenerate.
We're gonna need a fact check.
And this is the same face Lash made when she found out the tails fall off too. Oh my God, there goes the tail. I'm
I
like,
can't.
Don't worry, I'll
well,
get the rest
like
of it.
the
Yeah.
shock when it first happens.
Oh yeah, well,
Especially
see, I was
like
a
you're
kid.
holding the lizard.
Yeah,
and
I was a
then-
kid learning this though. You know what I mean? Like I would chase them
that's
for
probably
fun.
great,
So,
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, like,
okay.
I got
Yeah,
the lizard. Oh,
yeah,
the tail fell off.
so
Yeah,
it
she
was
doesn't think
fine
it's
for
cool
you.
or funny at
Yeah.
all.
If I were holding the lizard by its tail and it detached and ran away,
ran?
that'd freak me out.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah,
And
Florida
you're left
living.
holding it.
Yeah, you left holding
Does
it.
it wiggle?
Is it moving?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it does a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right? Little twitch, little nerve.
Oh.
Nerve
But I
ending.
don't, I just try to catch it in
know.
the trash can, and
just gotta grab
direct
the-
it into the trash can, and then I dump it
Throw it
into the
outside.
bushes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So there's no murdering.
Oh, no.
She
always
We love animals.
Yeah, no, because some people don't.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually me and Lash's thing. Like,
Oh,
every
yeah?
city, if we had the time, we go to the local zoo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. See, my favorite
That's
animal is the
really
lion. She loves the elephant.
Huh.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I'm bigger than you,
I
and I
wonder
can
if
beat you
there's
up.
any like great lion elephant parable or something somewhere.
I'm gonna
I
look it
bet.
up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
look it up.
There has to be.
Yeah. She said,
Because that's cool.
I'm the true queen of the jungle.
That's
you know
right.
what
I was
mean?
like,
That's
what's
right.
better than the lion? You said elephant. I'm like, oh, she's got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got me, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got you good.
She got me good. She got me good.
That's great.
For sure.
I'm
for
so
sure.
excited for you guys. So happy for you on a personal level
Thank
and
you.
on a professional level.
Thank you.
You're both just climbing so fast and you're both so talented.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
you know,
Thank you.
and I think the right mindset and the right heart, it's a beautiful thing what you bring to all of us.
I appreciate that.
So thank you.
And I'm sure she does too.
And thank you for doing the pod.
Man, anytime,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Anytime you want to have
wait,
story
I want to
time.
ask you about lemon pepper steppers.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, yeah. So is it after the chicken wing lemon pepper? Like,
Well, so, you got to understand. These lemon pepper steppers have been passed
Which are-
down from
which are
generation to
amazing.
generation. Thank you so much.
they are.
And
Can we get a
briefly-
close-up?
Can we get a close up of the lemon pepper steppers?
I mean, we need to do this. How many generations?
Man, 2 generations.
Okay.
We briefly talked about my uncle's sweet baby James.
Yes.
So when I moved to Philly,
I thought you said it was a story you didn't want to tell.
yeah, but now we here. Now we got.
I was respecting it, so okay.
But my uncle, sweet baby James, man, he's a great dude. He's a great dude. I didn't meet him until I decided I was going to learn how to wrestle and move him back to Philadelphia. That's when my pop said, hey, you got an uncle in Philly. He's staying in South Philly. I said, okay. He's like, just hit him up, see what he's talking
Yeah.
about. So he says,
That's
yeah,
cool.
come on
And
through.
you had never met him.
Never met him.
And it's your brother, your dad's brother?
It's my dad's uncle.
Your
So-
dad.
so it's my great uncle.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, my great uncle, my dad's uncle.
Okay.
So I drive to Philly. He's like, yeah, come on, He's not there. But he has his friend open the door for me. So I'm just in South Philly, you know what I mean?
In some place.
in some place.
with this some man.
This man I never met before for 2 days. But while I'm there, I'm applying for jobs and doing everything like
So
that.
you're living there.
I'm living there for 2 days. And I'm from the South.
Right.
There's a big difference between the South
And South
Philly. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same at all. You know what I mean?
It's not. Yeah.
You know, but that's where I'm gonna leave it at. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But he shows up maybe 2-3 days later and says, "Hello." I'm like,
You're
"What's
like,
going
"Hey."
on?" You know, I'm Patrick's son. You know what I mean? And
Thanks for letting me stay.
thanks for letting me stay. He's like, "Yeah, of course. You know, I do anything for my nephew Pat." You know, he said, "So, what is it that you want?" I said, "Well, I'm dead serious about this wrestling journey. You know what I mean? Like, I'm figuring out my job situation. I think I got a good thing lined up. But, you know, if I could stay here, that'd be very helpful. You know, what can we do to make that happen, if that's okay with you?" He said, "You want to stay here with me?" I said, "Yeah." He said, $200 a month. That's it. Welcome in. I get you a key. And the $200 wasn't because he needed the $200.
No, it was because. I'm sorry, you tell it.
But you're right. It's because as a man, you have
Yes.
to pay your way.
Right.
Like, nothing in life is free.
That's right.
So
and
I had to-
there's a value to
There's
it.
a value to
Yep.
it. He said, "You're going to stay here, you're going to appreciate it."
That's
Man.
right. And it makes you appreciate it,
It
more.
makes me
Because you're
appreciate
working for it.
And my uncle, I lie to you not, talking about lessons. Man, I love my uncle, man. He would cook every single day, just seafood. All he eat is seafood. And he'll just give you life lessons. You know, like I say, he's my great uncle.
Right.
So he's a smooth.
So you had a lot of wisdom.
He's a smooth.
So where did
player
he get
type.
the name Sweet Baby
Sweet Baby James?
Sorry, Sweet Baby
Yeah,
James.
sweet, because, you know, back in the day, you know what I mean, he had two ladies, one named Lexus and one named Mercedes. Lexus drive Mercedes drive a Lexus, and Sweet Baby gets them confused from time to time. You know, so so I ain't saying he was a pimp,
Right.
but he had
was
some.
a player.
He is a player. He had some cool qualities about himself, and that's where my whole persona, Sweet Daddy Trick, came from. I'm like,
right.
I said,
You
my
wanted to
uncle
be
is the
like
coolest
him.
man alive. I ain't
Oh,
gonna
how
lie.
cool. So how long did you stay with him?
I stayed with him for a year until COVID broke out. And then when COVID broke out, I said, I can't. You know, he's 60, 70 something.
You didn't want to put him at risk.
I said, I already know I'm be moving. I got stuff I'm trying to do. I can't live here. But yeah, that was a rough conversation. Like,
it was hard to leave him.
It was hard to leave
You
him.
fell in love with him.
Yeah, man, that's my uncle right there.
Yeah, that's
my
so
uncle.
beautiful.
And then we came back and did WrestleMania there. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. He got to see me
Oh.
live and in action.
That's so great.
It was a crazy.
Oh, I bet
Another
he was
full
so
circle
proud.
moment. Yeah. Another full circle moment.
What did he say to you?
Man, I just remember, first thing first, so we did a whole package at NXT when I went back, and I was showing people like where I first started my wrestling journey, you know, training at CZW, training, you know, staying with my uncle, Sweet Baby James. So when he came to the venue at NXT Stand and Deliver, he had fans.
People knew who he was.
People were like, Sweet Baby James, Sweet Baby James. And he was outside selling his own merch. He had his
Oh,
own
that's
T-shirts.
awesome.
Because
Oh, my
that's what he
God.
do. He runs his shop downstairs. you know?
He's a hustler.
He's a hustler. And that's what he was teaching me. He's like, you got to keep some Stacey Adams on your feet. You know, we call them lemon pepper steppers, you know. So that's where we got the lemon pepper steppers from. And we pass it down for
And so
generations.
why? What does that mean, Stacey Adams?
Oh, it's a stylish shoe. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's this stylish.
Yeah,
shoe.
it's a stylish shoe, you know.
like
where-
with a heel and a toe.
Yeah, with
like
a heel
this?
and a toe, you know what I mean? Real player, like, you just got to keep them clean. You know, it's when you dress
Whatever
up.
it is, yeah.
That's right, when
you
you
know, my
dressing up.
dad was always the same. He had to have your shoes shined.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
couldn't walk around with scuffy shoes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
They had to look.
So he had some lemon pepper steppers too. Is that what you're saying?
All of his were lemon pepper.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh man.
And where did the all white come from?
I'll tell you what. So the all white, you know, I had this coat that I've been saving for a big moment. It was just sitting in my closet. I got it when I was at NXT. And then once I
And how'd you find the coat?
Man, I was just so in Atlanta, you know, Lash is from Atlanta. And they have some nice malls with some nicer stuff over there. So I'm like, if I'm gonna spend this type of money on a coat, I'm gonna wear it at the right time.
Right?
And
You saw it.
I saw the coat.
You were
it was
like-
glistening. I said,
It lit up.
it lit up. I
It
said,
did.
This is for me. And then as I debut on SmackDown, and I cut off Sami Zayn, the gingerbread man. And I come out with this all white coat, white pants, white belt buckle, no shirt, of course, white lemon pepper steppers. And I go and I hold my foot up just like this before I get in the ring and everything like that. And they had memes of everything with me in this coat. They had some dude from Powerpuff Girls, and, you know, all type of stuff. Like, oh, Trick Williams last night on SmackDown. And I remember I show up the next week, and Michael Hayes comes to me. He's like, "Trick, where's your coat?" I said, well,
So good.
you know, it's not my coat, it's a coat, but it's at the house. Thank you very much. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then Bruce says, "Where's your coat, Trick?"
Yeah, it's a
like-
part of your gimmick.
I was like, "Oh, is my coat? All right." And then your husband trips. He comes like, "Trick, where's your coat?" I was like, "Well, it wasn't really
It's on
my
its
coat.
way.
You know, it was a coat." He said, "I never seen Elvis Presley without his coat." Okay, it's my coat.
Right, makes
And
sense now.
I've been rocking the coat ever since.
Okay, and so that's going to keep you in the all white color unless you
That's right.
change the color of your coat too.
Yeah, so it just made sense. I'm the anointed one. I share my testimony all the time. You know what I mean? So the all white just fits so
it just
perfectly.
fits. Yeah.
Fits so perfectly.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And then if you turn heel, you're going to change the color.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot for me to get out this white. If I step out without the white now, you know something's going terribly
Something's
wrong.
off.
Or terribly
that is
right.
A good, or terribly right.
Or terribly right.
Okay, you're going to keep us guessing.
That's right.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so
This
much
was
for having
awesome.
me. Yes, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.